Today we are testing how much he might like you. Now please select the card that resonates with you in the knowledge contest. The baby in this group might feel that the other's fondness for you is a bit unstable. It's not that he has such a high degree of affection for you all the time. The other party might have been crazy about you, but I think your relationship is a bit... Perhaps there was a time in the past when your relationship had a very rapid development, like it reached the end point all of a sudden, but maybe after that end point, all at once, it feels like a grown-up's sense of alienation has been restored. I think you two had quite an intimate physical contact, but in terms of mental communication, I think there's a slight lack, and for this group of babies, I feel that you don't really get this person, you and him. The ranks are not on the same level at all. His rank should be a bit higher than yours, or you two should be almost the same, but even if you two are similar, if you want to win him over, there will be a little difficulty, so I think the other's affection for you. It's certain that there have been peaks in the past, but as it stands now, things have somewhat calmed down, making you feel like you are actually... There probably hasn't been much contact or communication between the two of you lately. What you might say to each other isn't much, maybe just a chat every few days. That's kind of the current situation. It doesn't seem to be about colleagues. Or maybe a small number of babies might be colleagues, but I think most babies are probably playing outside. Well, I met this person during a travel or a trip. It feels like meeting in some entertainment places. The possibility of us being in work. The possibility of knowing the manufacturers of work and business may also exist, but I think it should only be a small part. This is all about this group. I think most of you guys in this group are actually doing these tasks simultaneously. It feels like an upper and lower guard, a kind of collaboration or something like that, a bit like being below the mountain. There might be a portion of tour guides who used to be classmates, or are currently classmates, or met through community activities. Then, there is actually a hint of ambiguity between you two, but you can't figure it out. The truth is, they have a high level of affection for you, but there are also quite a lot of realistic factors to consider between you two. Because I think the influence of reality on this report could potentially be valuable. Bit by bit. I guess larger quantities like a stream might be more than a drop. Plus there are some real factors that I think it's about family. Or, I think one of you... Besides each other, there is a stable relationship to maintain, and this relationship will be a bit dynamic for a while, so your relationship has always been like you and him. There is a vague but weak relationship, but it seems that no one has broken it. If you guys are currently in a broken state, I think your relationship is actually... There's already a bit of a trust crisis, or it's already a bit like we can't go back to how it was before. The development is not very good, and both people clearly know that this relationship has no future, but I think most babies are probably still in a vague state. Back and forth is like dragging on. Such a phase without being straightforward. In a phase that is not straightforward, I'd feel... In fact, the other person's good feelings for you are really high. You don't need to think too much. It's just that the other party will consider some practical factors, so his actions will be somewhat hot and cold. If you say there are a bit too many household registers and a sense of clumsiness, then if you have already established a relationship with a baby, then perhaps between you... I suppose fundamentally, the personality might be a bit incompatible. Aside from some external factors, there is some discrepancy in the trust between you. There may still be some existence between the two people. The third argument is not suitable, or the issues recorded in the past are quite deep. It's a situation like this. Because the two of you should belong to that kind of feeling that you hit it off in understanding. Every aspect is very harmonious, but after getting along for a long time, you will find that there are quite a lot between the two people. One is some different places, and the other side in this kind of feeling actually has more negative emotions than positive ones, and this kind of feeling actually makes you feel quite insecure. But I think although there is help, although it is not good to help others, but he actually likes you a lot. I think this kind of baby, if you guys have confirmed the relationship, you shouldn't ask about the affection. The affection is generally in the situation where the relationship is not confirmed. Actually, he likes and loves you more. If you haven't heard Sister Huang's advertisement, his favorability towards you is quite high, just because of some concerns. But I would feel like there is such a relationship one day in the future. Actually, there is still room for development, but it can be pushed forward, and the above is all about Zheng Yizhu. For this group, I feel like you guys should have had some ambiguity in the past, or you were ambiguously good and suddenly said it's over. It's actually quite good if the other party doesn't reply to your messages or doesn't take the initiative to contact you. It just cuts off suddenly. It can be said that the reason why some people may not fit the other's rating is mostly because you are good, we are not suitable, and then send a good person card. There is no real reason you can't figure out his attitude towards you. Actually, whether there is a real liking and how much he likes you, so these are actually a bit different from beginning to end. So you will doubt, are you just fishing or being ambiguous or just playing around? It's insincere to him inside. So what's the realistic impact between you guys? I feel like there might be some, and I think the other side might have some words to say. The truth might indeed not be very sincere. I think I should not contact others besides you. There is another kind of relationship developing or maintaining, and the other side seems to focus more on that relationship. But I can't confirm whether the other side recognizes it because I can only see the other side's. There's indeed a short relationship at risk over there, and this group actually also has a feeling for this person, which is actually quite fixated because you feel it's indeed the other party over there. It's actually not bad, it's just a bit difficult to adapt to leaving this relationship. It feels like you haven't recovered yet, but I think it's getting closer to the back from reading the product. There is still a chance for development. But I think time may not be so fast. It may take 2 months later. There is actually another chance for you to develop such things, but I think it may not necessarily develop very well. That's all about this factor.